Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Students, today we will revise chapter number 7, okay, that is directing. As I told you all already, in this chapter you will have only up to communication process, okay, only till communication process topic is included for your exams here, okay. So first you have to study the meaning of direction here, okay. Directing means it is a process of instructing, guiding, counseling, motivating and leading people in the organization to achieve its objectives. Okay, so this is the meaning of directing. Next, you have to study the importance. Okay, there are certain characteristics of directing given here. So for this exam, you need not study the characteristics. Okay, importance, there are some, I think nearly 5 to 6 points. So you have to study this, the importance of directing. Next one is principles. Okay, this is one important questions. There are 8 principles of directing. Okay, first one is maximum individual contribution. Second, harmony of objectives. Third one is unity of command. Fourth one, appropriateness of direction technique. Fifth one, managerial communication. Sixth, use of informal organization. Seventh one is leadership. Eighth one is follow through. Okay, so first one, maximum individual contribution. This means that the directing techniques must help every employee in the organization to give his maximum. Okay, so the managers have to see that the direction techniques must bring out the best. Okay, it must bring out the maximum from the employees. Okay, so for this, a good wage plan, a good motivation plan along with monetary and non-monetary rewards must be made in order to motivate the employee to give out his maximum for the organization. Okay. Second one is harmony of objectives. See, an employee may have certain objectives. Okay. While joining the organization, he has certain intentions, like he wants to earn money, he wants to build his career. Okay, he wants to fulfill his personal needs. Okay, he will aim for career development. But the organization, on the other hand, it will expect its employees to improve the productivity and to achieve profits. Okay, so here the objectives will differ. Okay, the employees' objectives are different and the organization's objectives are different. Okay, so by good directing, it is possible to combine this. Okay, a good directing should provide harmony of objectives. Okay, next one is unity of command. Okay, that is the employee should receive command only from one person. Okay, receiving commands from multiple people will create conflict and confusion. Okay, next one is appropriateness of direction technique. Now, for some people, for some employees, money will act as a motivator. Okay, for others, appreciation and other non-monetary rewards will act as a motivator. Okay, so the direction techniques must be appropriate. Okay, it must be based on the subordinates' needs, capabilities and attitudes. Next one is managerial communication. Okay, this you will be learning in communication process. Okay, why managerial communication is important. Okay, next one is use of informal organization. That is, a manager should realize that informal group means it is the groups formed within the organization due to common interests. Okay, so he should try to recognize these informal groups and make use of such organizations. Okay, next one is leadership. Okay, this one you have already studied the entire topic. Okay, you all know what is leadership, right? So next, last one is follow through. That is getting feedback. Okay, just giving orders is not sufficient. The manager has to get feedback. He must follow up. Okay, whatever work is done, he must follow up whether it will meet the standards of the organization. Next one is elements of direction. Okay, now here there are 4 elements of direction. First one is supervision. Okay, second one, motivation, third leadership, and fourth communication. Okay, there are 4 elements: supervision, motivation, leadership, and communication. Under leadership you have to study the meaning, under supervision you have to study the meaning of supervision and importance. Okay, under motivation, under motivation you have to study the meaning of the 3 terms: motivation, motivators, and motive. Okay, motivation means it is the process of stimulating people to action in order to accomplish the goals. Okay, motive means it is the inner state that energizes, activates, or moves and directs behavior towards goals. Okay, this is the definition of motive. Motivator, what is a motivator? It is the technique used to motivate people in the organization. Okay, so I will ask you all to explain these terms. Next one, features of motivation. You need not study for this exam. Okay, next one is the motivation process. Okay, the motivation process, it has 5 points here. Okay, an unsatisfied need, it leads to tension. Tension will stimulate the person's drives, and these drives will generate a surge of behavior in order to satisfy the need. Okay, if the need is satisfied, it will relieve him of tension. Okay, so this is the motivation process. Okay, next one is importance of motivation. Okay, there are 5 points here, you have to study this. Okay, why motivation is important in an organization. This is also the answer for benefits of motivation. Importance and benefits of motivation is the same. Okay, the next topic is Maslow's need hierarchy theory. Okay, this is one important topic. Okay, here Abraham Maslow, a psychologist, he has recognized 5 basic needs. Okay, within every individual. Okay, they are: first one is basic psychological needs, second safety needs or security needs, third one affiliation needs, fourth esteem needs, and fifth one is self-actualization needs. Okay, the basic psychological needs means the basic needs, that is hunger, thirst, shelter, etc. Okay, so in the organizational context, the basic psychological need is the basic salary. Okay, why? The individual joins the organization. The basic need is to earn money. Okay, next one is safety or security needs. The security needs provides security and protection. Okay, in terms of organization, it means the pension plan or whatever security given by the organization. Okay, third one is affiliation needs, belongingness needs. That is, it refers to affection, sense of belongingness, acceptance, friendship. In organizational context, it refers to the relation the employee has with his subordinates as well as his superiors. Okay. Fourth one is esteem needs. That is, needs such as self-respect, status, recognition, attention, etc. Okay. The last one is self-actualization needs. It is the highest level of need. That is, it refers to what the individual wants to become. Okay, what he is capable of becoming and what he actually wants to become. Okay. Now here in this theory there are certain assumptions. Okay, there are 4 assumptions. You have to study this. Okay, Maslow's theory is based on 4 assumptions. You have to study the assumptions. Next one is financial and non-financial incentives. Now what is an incentive? Incentives refers to all those steps which are done by the organization in order to motivate its employees. Okay, so the incentives can be financial or non-financial. Financial is given in monetary terms. Okay, non-financial, it is the incentive which fulfills the emotional, psychological and social needs of the employees. Okay, under financial needs we have 8 kinds of financial incentives. Okay, that is pay and allowances, productivity linked wage incentives, bonus, profit sharing, co-partnership or stock option, retirement benefits and perquisites. Okay, so I may ask you all to explain maybe what is bonus or what is perquisite, what is a stock option. Okay, so you have to explain any one or 2 points. Okay, next one is non-financial incentives. Okay, as I told you all, non-financial incentives are they are the incentives which are given in non-monetary terms. Okay, it satisfies the psychological, social and emotional needs of the employees. Okay, so here the non-financial incentives, sometimes even financial incentives are included here. For example, when a person is given promotion, okay, he gets a higher status in the organization, a higher position, but along with that he gets a higher pay as well. Okay, so here under non-financial incentives, financial incentive is also included. Okay, here you have to study the various types of non-financial incentives, that is status, organizational climate, career advancement opportunity, etc. Okay, there are 8 kinds of non-financial incentives. Next one is leadership. Okay, under this you need not study the features of leadership. Okay, features and importance you need not study for this exam. Okay, here you have to study the qualities of a good leader. There are 10 qualities of a good leader. It's very easy. Okay, physical features, knowledge, confidence, communication skill, etc. Okay, so you have to study the features of a good leader. Next, you have to study the 3 kinds of leadership styles. There are 3 kinds of leadership style, that is autocratic, democratic and laissez-faire. Under autocratic, it is the kind of leadership, it is a kind of style where the leader will give orders to his subordinates and the subordinates have to obey. Okay, the subordinates don't have any choice, they have to obey the orders given by the leader. Okay, they don't have any say in the decision making of the organization. Under second style, that is democratic or participative style, the employees, that is the leader, will consult the employees. Okay, he will encourage the employees to participate in decision making. Okay, this kind of leadership is common these days. Okay, so this is democratic or participative leadership. Third one is laissez-faire or free rein leader. Okay, under this kind of leadership, the subordinates or employees, they are given independence. Okay, they can make their own objectives and they can do their work by themselves. They can solve all the small problems by themselves. Okay, they only get the support of the leader. Okay, the manager is there only to support them and give them whatever required information in order to do their work. Okay, so this is laissez-faire or free rein leadership. Next one is communication. Under this, you have to study the various elements of communication process. Okay, there are 10 elements here, not 10, sorry, there are 8 elements of communication process. That is, first one is sender, second message, third encoding, fourth media, fifth decoding, then receiver and feedback. Okay, this is one important topic. You have to study the elements of communication process. Okay, so this is what you have to study in this chapter. Okay, that's all for today, students. Study well. All the best for your exams.